Welcome to Random but Memorable, a podcast from 1Password. I'm Anna, the producer behind the show.
I'm Sarah, one of the founders at 1Password.
I'm Rue, head of password manager development.
I'm Matt Davey, 1Password's chief experience officer.
And we're the hosts behind Random but Memorable. Together we offer up bi-weekly security advice, interview special guests from the cybersecurity community, and round up the latest security news in Watchtower Weekly. We may even play a silly game or two. So sit back and enjoy the show.
Give me a second, I'm going to get him out of the room. Go bark in another part of the house. All right, here we go.
Is it that horrible lady with the baby walking down the street again?
It's not. It's not that lady, that inconsiderate lady with the baby.
It's part 2.
This is an older woman with a walker.
Yes. The sequel.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yes. We really should get you a full-on studio room with your dressing room.
Yeah, this wouldn't have happened in my dressing room because I wouldn't have the dogs.
No.
Well, should we jump in, Anna?
Yeah, so did you guys know that we're running a brand new listener survey?
Nope.
My favorite time of the year. I would love that.
Yeah, so this survey is now live. You can follow the link in the show notes of this episode to give us some feedback on the show. And we're also giving 3 listeners the chance to win 1 free year of 1Password at the end of the form. And the survey should only take a couple of minutes to fill in, and all the questions are completely optional. So you can actually remain anonymous if you would like to, but if you want to be entered into the giveaway and a chance to win 1 free year of 1Password, then please just provide your email address at the bottom of the survey. So yeah, please do share your thoughts on the show, as it really helps us to get valuable feedback on the podcast and how we're doing and how we can keep improving the show and make sure that you're still enjoying it. And I know I personally, but all the hosts and folks who work hard behind the scenes on the podcast would really appreciate it and would be very interested to hear any thoughts you have. So yeah, we'll leave a link to enter the listener survey and all the giveaway terms and conditions in the show notes, which means it's nice and easy for you to just click through, and you can even fill it out whilst you're listening to the show today if you wanted to.
Only if it's a good one, though. Like, don't fill it out if you walk away feeling like this wasn't a good episode. You should go back and listen to one of your favorites and then fill it out then. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. We only want that kind of feedback.
No, it's funny. So feedback is something I encourage, so even internally when we're doing different employee surveys and feedback stuff, it's invaluable, the feedback that you can get. And so if we can hear from people who are listening to us, because I think we're pretty awesome. I think we're pretty good. And I have ideas on where I'd like to take the show. And Anna has ideas, and Rue and Matt, and everybody has ideas on what we'd like to do to make the show better. But the only people that are here to enjoy the show is all of you listening. So if you can tell us what you are enjoying, what you'd like to see more of, what you'd like to see less of, all of that feedback just really is so valuable. And it really, we read every word and like to make sure we're giving you guys a show that you want to listen to. We're only going to be here if you guys are here. So if you guys tell us what you'd like to hear, we can do our best to make sure you guys are happy. So maybe less blankety blank security game, because it's a horrible game that I lose at. I thought this was my opportunity to pull a Rue and be like, I don't want to lose that game anymore. Somebody quick, tell me how to get out of it.
Oh, you're becoming a podcast host diva now. You're calling the shots.
Always been a diva, just never been able to be anywhere to do anything about it.
What are you requesting in your dressing room, Sarah?
Oh.
Everything needs to be white.
Oh God, no. We're going with M&Ms and a nice glass of water.
That's really funny.
Rue, what would you request in your dressing room?
Man, what would I request in my dressing room? Okay, you know what? Here's the thing that I would request, because I'm assuming that if I have a dressing room, it means I'm on tour. And so I would want the food from the I want to know what the locals consider the best meal, and then I want that delivered to the dressing room after the show. That's
nice.
What I want. Just bring me the thing that you think is the best, and also not just a meal, but what's some good dessert? Bring me some ice cream. That's the kind of thing I want, because when I travel, I want to experience the place. I want to do the thing that's in the place. When I went to the Netherlands, I was drinking, Heineken and Amstel and stuff like that, which is admittedly, beer that you can get anywhere, but there's something special about drinking it few blocks from where it's brewed. So
Oh, yeah.
you got to do the local stuff. That's what I want.
What about you, Anna?
I think I'm the opposite to Rue, in which I would just want all the home comforts. So if I'm travelling and I'm going to all these weird and wonderful places, I would just want a cup of tea and a few biscuits and lots of cats to stroke. That would be nice.
That's fascinating. It is fascinating how different you and I are in that regard. Unreal. Huh.
Lots of blankets. Yeah.
Lots of blankets.
I'm making it ultimate cozy vibes.
I love it. All right. Well, why don't we get started? Jump into the rest of the show with some Watchtower Weekly. Here, we'd like to round up some of the latest security news and share our thoughts or feelings on them. Some of these are pretty strong opinions, and other times we're just trying our best to remain optimistic in the world of cybersecurity. Although that might be difficult today with the first story, which comes from Wired. It says the Snowflake attack may be turning into one of the largest data breaches ever. This story is claiming that a hack against customers of the cloud storage company Snowflake looks like it could turn into one of the biggest ever data breaches. Very recently, Snowflake, which allows companies to store huge data sets on its servers, revealed that criminal hackers have been attempting to access its customers' accounts using stolen login details. Massive data breaches targeting Ticketmaster and Santander have been linked to the attacks. And you may have heard of these two breaches already because just the Ticketmaster breach alone impacted more than 500 million users. In the days since Snowflake first said a, quote, limited number of customer accounts had been accessed, cybercriminals, however, have publicly claimed to be selling stolen data from two other major firms and alleged the information was taken from Snowflake accounts. At the same time, TechCrunch has reported that hundreds of Snowflake customer passwords have been found online and are accessible to cybercriminals. Amid the claims, there remains uncertainty about the scope and scale of the attempted attack against Snowflake customers, who the attackers may be, and how an attack tool they developed operates. It also highlights the growth in the use of InfoStealer malware in recent years and the need for third-party software providers and companies to turn on multi-factor authentication to reduce the chances of accounts being compromised. A large proportion of the Snowflake drama has so far played out on the notorious cybercrime marketplace Breach forums. The FBI seized the forum in mid-May, but another version quickly appeared, and its owners, hacker group Shiny Hunters, claimed to be selling 560 million records from Ticketmaster and 30 million from Santander. Both companies have said they have suffered from data breaches, with Ticketmaster directly linking the incident to Snowflake, while Santander said it has seen unauthorized access to one of its databases hosted by a third-party provider. What is Santander? Why don't I know this?
It's actually pronounced Santander. It's a bank. Sorry.
Okay. That's great. What do they do?
It's a bank. It's quite a big bank. In the UK, I don't know.
It's a big bank that I don't know. Great. Okay, thanks. I'm going to just say Santander, and you can go back and fix it.
See, when you say it, Santander, it sounds American. Santander sounds like a European bank. Like, we get to whip out the French again here.
Exactly. Yeah. In recent days, a Breach Forums account going by the handle Spider has posted two more companies whose data it claims is related to the Snowflake incident. Automotive giant Advanced Auto Parts, which Spider claims to have 380 million customer details from, and financial services company LendingTree and subsidiary Quote Wizard, from which it claims to have data linked to 190 million people. Since Snowflake acknowledged that accounts have been targeted, it has provided some information about the incident. Brad Jones, Snowflake's chief information security officer, said in a blog post that threat actors used login details to accounts that had been purchased or obtained through info-stealing malware, which is designed to pull usernames and passwords from devices that have been compromised. The incident appears to be, quote, a targeted campaign directed at users with single-factor authentication, Jones added. Little is known about the Spider account advertising data on Breach forums, and it's not clear whether Shiny Hunters obtained the data it was selling from another source or directly from victim Snowflake accounts. Information about a Ticketmaster incident. You know what? I'm just going to keep saying Santander. I've said it. That's how I mispronounced it in the beginning. Congratulations, everyone. You get to hear the American mispronounce a British bank name for the rest of this.
It's fine. It's your special Rue version.
I'm in now. Information about a Ticketmaster and Santander breach was originally posted on another cybercrime forum by a new user called Spider-Man Data. The Spider account posted on Breach forums that the 2 terabytes of alleged LendingTree and Quote Wizard data was for sale for $2 million, while the 3 terabytes of data allegedly from Advanced Auto Parts would cost someone $1.5 million. The price set by the threat actor appears extremely high for a typical threat listing posted to Breach forums, says Chris Morgan, a senior cyber threat intelligence analyst at the security firm ReliaQuest. Morgan says the legitimacy of Spider is not clear. However, he points out there is a nod to teenage hacking group Scattered Spider. While the exact source of the alleged data breaches is unclear, the incident highlights how interconnected companies can be when relying on products and services from third-party providers. Security researcher and friend of the show Troy Hunt has commented on this story, and he told Wired, quote, "I think a lot of this is just a recognition of how interdependent these services are now and how hard it is to control the security posture of third parties. As part of its response to the attacks, Snowflake has told all customers to make sure they enforce multi-factor authentication on all accounts and allow traffic only from authorized users or locations. Companies that have been impacted should also reset their Snowflake login credentials. As we know, enabling multi-factor authentication greatly reduces the chances that online accounts will be compromised, and in recent years with the COVID-19 pandemic and a lot more people working remotely, we've seen a rise in the use of InfoStealer malware." Ian Gray, the vice president of intelligence at security company Flashpoint, has said, quote, "InfoStealers have become more popular because they're in high demand and pretty easy to create. Hackers have been seen to be copying or modifying existing InfoStealers and selling them on for as little as $10 for all the login details, cookies, files, and more from one infected device. Quote, "This malware can be delivered in different ways and targets sensitive info like browser data, cookies and credentials, credit cards, and crypto wallets," Gray says. That was the longest summary of an account of an article I've ever read in my life. Oh my God!
You had to take a few deep breaths there.
I think it was so long just because of all of the amazing name drops in there. Quote Wizard, ReliaQuest, Spider, Spider-Man stuff,
Santander,
Flashpoint.
I'm surprised we didn't rank any of those during that.
No. Well, Matt's not here. I won't rank things without Matt.
Yeah, that's true.
That's his bit.
I'm pretty sure Scattered Spider we had in Hacker No Hacker one time.
I think we did. We did have like an animal situation going on.
And I'm also surprised we didn't make any, this one's really snowballing jokes throughout all of that. Right?
Oh, nice.
And we're not even getting into the actual data breach.
Well, I think the data breaches, it's one of those where I get frustrated because it's like, secure your stuff. Do the two-factor login, make it as secure as possible. Like, you know, it's InfoStealers. Like, that's an actual, like, legit, sounds like job description. Like, these guys look like they're advertising on the internet. Like, hey, I'll create you an InfoStealer for $10, you know, and like, they can only steal information if you're being loose with your data. Keep your data tidy and neat and tight, and don't like flopping your credentials around all over the place.
When are we going to make multi-factor authentication mandatory? That's what I want to know.
That's a good question.
It feels like that should just be a thing, right?
I mean,
if we can make passkeys a thing, then we don't need multi-factor, right? Like
that is true, yeah.
Well, that's true. Yes, I think that we can leapfrog it.
We can completely skip it.
You know, because at the end of the day, the problem behind password security and all of this kind of stuff, it's a human problem. It's about us as individuals trying to do the easy thing. And we all have way too much, you know, we've got the dog barking, we've got doorbells ringing, we've got all kinds of stuff going on. We have so much that we're just trying to do, and we just want to get a quote from LendingTree on whether or not I can afford a mortgage or something. And so you're just trying to get through the day quickly, and you're not thinking about the consequences of all of those things. So the more you can sort of put up data and the more you can rely on those other companies that they're doing the more secure thing. Like, that's the thing, right? Like, me as a customer, I'm using your service, all that kind of stuff. I'm kind of hoping that when I'm using you as a company, you're treating my data with respect because I'm trying to give you my business. I want you to treat my data like it's something that's valuable and precious because I'm going to give you my money, which is valuable and precious to me. So, you know, companies really have a onus onto their customers to make sure their credentials are safe and secure and that they're doing what they can. And just it all comes down to humans and how we can help make humans more secure.
For sure. Yeah.
Well said.
Did I pull it back out? I know you were getting a little worried there, Rue. Did I manage to pull it back?
No, it was great. You nailed it. You absolutely nailed it.
You got up on the soapbox.
Oh, I did it.
You did it.
All right, let's move on to this story brought to us both by the BBC and Bleeping Computer. Microsoft recalls screenshot feature after outcry. Microsoft is making changes to a controversial feature announced for its new range of PCs powered by artificial intelligence after it was flagged as a potential, quote, privacy nightmare. The company billed the recall feature for Copilot Plus as a way to make users' lives easier by capturing and storing screenshots of their desktop activity. But after people claimed hackers might be able to misuse the tool and its saved screenshots, Microsoft is making the feature opt-in instead. Pavan Davuluri, corporate vice president of Windows and Devices, commented on the decision, saying, quote, "We have heard a clear signal that we can make it easier for people to choose to enable recall on their Copilot Plus PC and improve privacy and security safeguards. The recall tool featured prominently during the unveiling of Microsoft's new PC at its developer conference in May. The company is counting on artificial intelligence to drive demand for its devices." Executive Vice President Youssef Mehdi said during the event's keynote speech that the feature used AI, quote, "to make it possible to access virtually anything you have ever seen on your PC," and likened it to having photographic memory. The feature can search through a user's past activity, including their files, photos, emails, and browsing history. While this is something lots of other devices do, the tool would also take screenshots every few seconds and search these too. Recall works by taking a screenshot of your active window every few seconds, recording everything you do in Windows for up to 3 months. Originally, Recall was set to do this by default. These snapshots will then be analyzed by the on-device neural processing unit and an AI model to extract data from the screenshot. The data will be saved in a semantic index, allowing Windows users to browse through the snapshot history or search using human language queries. Microsoft says that all this data is encrypted using BitLocker tied to the user's Windows account and is not shared with other users on the same device. Allegedly, all of the data is saved directly on the user's device in an encrypted format, providing users with complete control over the feature, including if it's enabled and what apps it can take screenshots of. Microsoft said it, quote, "built privacy into Recall's design, and users would have control over what was captured, such as by opting out of capturing certain websites or not capturing private browsing on Microsoft's browser, Edge." It said changes to the feature would give people a clearer choice to opt in to saving screenshots during setup of the PCs and would otherwise be turned off by default. Users will be required to use Windows Hello authentication process to enable the tool, and their proof of presence will be required if they want to view their timeline of saved activity or search through it in Recall. So it looks like these updates will be implemented before Copilot Plus PCs launch on June 18th.
Yeah, I kind of want to hear your thoughts on this, Rue.
I have a high degree of skepticism over features that have a huge potential privacy impact that come from companies that do not have a foundation in privacy. That's my hot take on this.
I feel like you need to have more there, Rue. That doesn't feel like much of a hot take. That feels like I don't really trust anyone that isn't anyone that does security, which is no one. So no one. Like, would you use something like this? No, I would not use something like this from Microsoft. See, and that's where I struggle, right? Because, like, I was watching a certain keynote and there was a new feature about searching for stuff, and we were trying to find a photo. A couple of years ago, it was a car show in the park, and we were like, remember that car show? And we have all this stuff to help those of us who are memory challenged. And so I'm using the app that they're like talking about all the great features, and I can't find it. It's not on my phone. It's not there. I pay the extra storage. It is what it is. I'm also paranoid and a digital hoarder, so I also pay for an alternative services backup. So I go there, I type in the same 2 keywords, and boom, the picture I want is right on the top. Like, it's hard to know when you're storing stuff and doing stuff. Like, maybe there was a screenshot of something on my computer and I'm like, oh, remember that one? And I like put in the keywords, and it's like trying to figure out what song it is based on a couple random lyrics or a couple, but-ops that you've got. It's only as good as the searcher and like the model that you're using to find that information. So it's always one of those where it's like, but you haven't helped me find anything yet. So why would I give you more data so you can't find what I need anyway? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, it feels like we're always talking about like that balance between kind of productivity and security and convenience almost. Definitely feels like the security aspect is compromised here for just like some mild convenience.
Yeah, like why would you have 1,700 tabs open in your browser if this neural thing can remember all of it? But
yeah,
what are the chances those of us who are tab people are going to actually give up our tabs? Like,
yeah.
We're not. We're going to click through all of those tabs trying to find our stuff.
Yeah. I mean, it's good Microsoft has kind of doubled back on this, I guess, because sometimes, you need that like public reaction and like multiple perspectives to kind of get a feature or something to where it should be.
I think that's the thing too, right? Like, it's about the choice. Whether, like, cool, great, you've got a great new tool, wonderful. It's like having a car that could self-drive. Great. If you think you've got it, if you can turn it on and off, life is great. If you are stuck with that, you are hating that vehicle the moment you get in there. If you're like a certain driver like myself, being able to have the control over your data and what something else wants to look at. I think that was the part that was really missing from their original announcement that looks like is what's going to be resolved now.
Yeah.
Agreed. All right, let's keep going. This next one comes to us from the Register. Researchers warn robot cars can be crashed with tinfoil and paint daubed on cardboard. God.
A change of gears, quite literally.
Nice.
I never thought that they'd put tinfoil and paint on cardboard. That's not something we protected against. A team of researchers from prominent U.S. universities were able to turn an autonomous vehicle operated on the open-sourced Apollo driving platform from Chinese web giant Baidu into a deadly weapon by tricking its multi-sensor fusion system and suggest the attack could be applied to other self-driving cars. The researchers have demonstrated how the fusion of LiDAR, radar, and cameras of these robot cars and taxis can be fooled by, quote, stuff from your kid's craft box. Extensive experiments based on a real-world autonomous vehicle testbed show that the proposed attack can continuously hide a target vehicle from the perception system of a victim autonomous vehicle using only two small adversarial objects, explained the researchers. You know what this sounds like? This sounds like they took aircraft anti-radar technology and used it to try and exploit or fool an autonomous vehicle. That sounds like what has happened here.
It just sounds like you're talking like a completely different language to me, and we haven't even got into the rest of it yet.
While others have proven vulnerabilities inherent in autonomous vehicle systems, this particular team expanded on single sensing modality or camera LiDAR manipulation and tricked systems that employ LiDAR, camera, and radar together. The new attack leverages millimeter wave reflection, the signals that provide object detection in such systems, on a smooth metal surface. They do this in a way researchers refer to as, quote, low cost and easily fabricated, as it involves strategically arranging metal foil and colored patches on cardboard. The study outlined, quote, by placing a smooth metal surface between the radar and a target vehicle with a specific orientation, the transmitted millimeter wave signals can be deflected from the radar receiver, leading to a reduction in the energy of echo signals from the vehicle. When the energy becomes lower than a threshold, the target vehicle will be hidden from radar perception. Meanwhile, the color patch misrepresented input image pixel values and affected Apollo's camera perception. Reflections confused its read on LiDAR lasers. Thus, all three sensing modalities were compromised. The researchers suggest that the attack could be carried out with drones, which serve to, quote, hide a secondary vehicle from the victim autonomous vehicle by projecting or carrying the adversarial object. Absent a drone, the trickster collage could be mounted on the front vehicle and disguised as an advertisement. Quote, since the drones only hover for a few seconds during the attack and can fly away from the victim autonomous vehicle immediately after the attack can be performed with high stealthiness and flexibility, noted the researchers. While Baidu Apollo platforms were used in the attack strategy could theoretically be applied to other multi-sensor fusion systems. Baidu has expanded its robo-taxi operations across China. The tech giant has charged for autonomous rides in its Apollo Go cab since November of 2021 and now operates robo-taxis in more than 10 Chinese cities. Its service in Wuhan alone covers 3,000 square kilometers and half the city's population. Baidu expects its robo-taxi wing to be profitable next year. Fascinating. This is really fascinating stuff.
This is so Hollywood movie, right?
Yeah.
Oh, he just got into the cab from the airport. Okay, drop the drone. Scramble, scramble. Okay, the car's confused. Yes, drop, get him. Like, it's 100% like, this is where the research is for. For everyday drivers like myself, not something we're going to worry about. And I think the more interesting part of the story here that they don't go into here is that these are robo-taxis that are operating now for 3 years almost in 10 different cities. Like, give me some stats, give me some data, because yes, a drone is all of a sudden going to confuse a camera. You're telling me that you drop a drone into traffic and there's not going to be an accident with human drivers? Ideally, we take humans out of the equation because they aren't paying attention. If we all had like humans who are going to pay attention and do what they're supposed to do and drive the speed limit, and then it would be a whole other thing. But like, humans are notoriously unsafe behind the wheels of a car. That's why accident statistics are so horrible. I'd love to get actual data to see how well are these robo-taxis operating. Like, unfortunately, yes, there's going to be incidents, but pretty sure us humans don't have a great track record to be like, well, it wouldn't have been if we were driving. Like I said, if someone drops a drone in front of my car even for 2 seconds, I guarantee you I'm going to hit something. Like,
I was going to say, who is actually like legitimately going to do this, like out in the wild? Like, who honestly has the time? And
I don't.
Because if they do, I think they just need to find a new hobby. Go on there, go to the cinema, touch some grass or something.
I think that this is less about like an actual attack out in the wild and more just like this is researchers showing how this could happen.
Yeah. It's more a catchy headline of like, oh, you can crash a robot car with things you find in your kids' art supplies, that kind of thing.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's the hard part, right? Good news, my kids can crash a car with the stuff that they found in their art supplies without an autonomous vehicle. Woohoo!
Save some money. Woohoo!
Okay, let's do a bit of a role reversal here because this week I actually get to host the interview.
Hooray!
This will be my first ever interview, yay, for the podcast. And I had the pleasure of chatting with Adamaka, who is the executive director and founder of Self-eSTEM, a nonprofit organization that supports BIPOC women and girls at every stage of their STEM careers. So, Anna, if you could drop that in now, it would be great. All right, welcome everybody. It is my pleasure to introduce our guest today, Adamaka Ajaelo. Adamaka is the executive director and founder of Self-eSTEM, a nonprofit organization that supports BIPOC women and girls at every stage of the STEM pipeline to ensure that they learn about STEM, stay in the field, and have thriving careers. Adamaka, I am really looking forward to hearing about all the work you're doing today and how we can support and champion women of color in the cybersecurity workplace. So thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Awesome. Thank you, Sarah, for having me. I'm really excited to be here.
Do you want to start by sharing some of the mission of Self-eSTEM and how it specifically is supporting women in the BIPOC communities and STEM and trying to get everyone into those technology fields?
Yes. So Self-eSTEM, our mission is pretty simple. It's really just to ignite pride, purpose, and possibility among BIPOC girls and women through STEM. And we just do this by providing culturally relevant education. So just education that aligns to their interests, training, mentorship, and access to a supporting network to fuel their personal and professional development. Specifically in cybersecurity and technology, we have a specific series, which is called Digital and Generative AI Bootcamp, which really introduces our innovators, our participants in our program, to like online safely through entrepreneurship, project-based training. So that's some of the ways that we're really getting the girls into cybersecurity and into the technology fields.
I love that. There was pride, purpose, and
possibility.
Pride, purpose, and possibility. I love that because it's really just about enjoying what you do and giving the people that have been successful that opportunity to show off and be proud of what they're accomplishing and really putting all of that together. I love that as a overarching mission statement. I think that's a really great opportunity for everyone just to be able to celebrate being awesome in their field and really giving other people that opportunity to learn from them.
Thank you. That's exactly it. You're spot on. That is really the essence of our mission.
With that mission, what do you find are some of the unique challenges, particularly for women of color, girls, when they're trying to enter into the cyber technology and technology centers?
Yes, that's a great question. There are several unique challenges that BIPOC women and girls face, including limited to access to resources, lack of mentorship, and there's some systemic biases that hinder their entry and advancement in cybersecurity in the technology sectors. At Self-eSTEM, we're addressing these challenges by offering comprehensive programs that include technical training, mentorship, as well as networking opportunities. So our Early STEM Emerging program, which provides hands-on experience for young girls aged 7 to 17, connects our participants with industry professionals who can really guide them through their journey. This is really designed to address what we call some of the core systemic root cause issues that keep them out and push them out of the talent pipeline. So by doing this, we're really focusing on building their STEM career identities, building their confidence, fostering educational readiness, so that they can have thriving careers. So that is all that encompasses the challenges, but our program really addresses those root causes.
It's amazing. I think that's the networking side of it. I think it's a real challenge because I find today, especially the more technology focused we get, it's a real focus on youth where it's like, well, we assume the youth know how to do everything, combined with the youth don't know how to do anything. So it's a real challenge for kids today to figure out how do they take the knowledge that they have, apply it into a business sense where they can turn around and say, yes, I've built this. Okay, I managed to hack this group here and I've put this together and I stitched that together and put it into like a resume, and how do I get my foot in the door at a technology firm where they can do the thing. They just need the mentorship to be able to put those pieces together for them.
Exactly, Sarah. That really gets to the heart of it. It's around opening up their world to new possibility, believing in their gifts and ability, and just really guiding them and encouraging them on their journey.
Mm-hmm. From your perspective, what are some of the key areas where the current cybersecurity industry is missing and lacking in diversity? And where do you think we can be taking the steps to address those gaps?
I would say that the key areas in the cybersecurity industry really has opportunity for diversity at all levels, particularly in leadership. To address these gaps, it's really important for organizations to make a commitment to be intentional about recruiting, about retention and development, and promotional strategies that really prioritize diversity, equity, and inclusion. Some of the things that companies can do include creating what I call supportive environments, really creating a safe space for people to ideate and speak up and share their ideas. Offering professional development opportunities is always a bonus and a plus. But the key thing is really actively working to kind of remove biases in some of your critical touch points and systems, primarily around hiring as well as promotion and advancement processes that are internal to the company. I really think when organizations can take a step back and kind of absorb their ecosystem and listen to employees, that's really just the foundational step to really help any organization start to address some of the diversity challenges at all levels.
I think that's the really important part, is the inclusive and just a safe environment to be able to raise discussions. Interesting, we've talked about feedback on the episode earlier. We're talking about feedback and just how important it is. And so being able to, as an employer, talk to your employees and say, this is what we're seeing. What are things that we could be doing to support you as a professional? What are things that you think we could be doing to help make sure, as we're going through, I know we have training on hiring bias and how do we make sure not just our interview process is fair and we're making sure all of our candidates have equal access to the same experience, but how do we look at our pipelines for talent coming in, making sure we're really being inclusive of what we want to see, which is a group of people working here that are very similar to the group of people that are using our product, which is everyone. We have the whole world using us, so we should be reflective of that with what we're doing.
I really love that. And I think that's where innovation can take flight. And when you're saying, you have a product in which you have diversity in the users, and if you're thinking about those groups as being key personas or your target market, and you're looking to innovate for them, it's always great to have people who have that same frame of reference and can really empathize on the needs of your customers.
Mm-hmm. Depending on your perspective of things, it really is a challenge if you don't have that vocal group of people who are willing to help you design a better product. Is there anywhere in particular where you'd say, is there an obvious spot where everybody's doing stuff, they're looking at things, but this is the one spot where if we could be doing things better as an industry, and really helping make sure we're supporting diverse talent pipelines, is there anywhere that you would say is that's the spot where if you just had, 5 minutes to focus on that would be something you could be doing, it would make a big impact?
I would say one of the things that it can make a big impact, thinking about it from a company organization level, is to really go out into the community and really kind of do sort of an environmental scan of what's happening. What are some of the emerging trends from a talent perspective? Because, the labor market is constantly changing and is constantly evolving and there's new skills. But really doing what I call an environmental scan and looking externally and seeing where are the areas in which I can maybe, if we think about diversity, early career talent, where can I go and get that talent? Where are the areas if I am looking to increase gender representation in my organization? If it's ethnicity, if there's disability, there are other different categories and touch points. But that's what I think that an organization should really do, is really to say, hey, we want to actually drive this change, but it starts with doing that empirical research and going out and seeing that that diversity does exist in the market, that these talent pools do actually, in fact, exist. And once you have those identified, then start to begin to build those pipelines and start to build those connectors with those targeted population. I think that that will be really, really critical. I've heard often, from companies like, hey, we don't know where the talent exists. Well, start to do that research and really find those diverse talent pools because they exist out there, and then begin to bridge those partnerships and pipelines with those sources or institutions that have that diverse talent.
It's interesting because at the beginning, we talked about how important it is for the youth to learn how to network. And, it's all about who you know and getting your foot in the door. And really what you just said there, it ties it back. Like it's not just the youth that have the work to do. It's the companies that have to do the work as well. Get out there, network, go and meet people, figure out where the world is. Like, it's not just a one-stop shop internet world of resumes. Like there's a whole world of talent out there. So how can you be, as a company, how do you get your network improved and really make sure you're going out there and not just putting it on the people who have to knock on your door?
Yes, I love the way that you summarize that and reframed it. That is perfectly spot on.
What advice would you give to women, especially those folks in our BIPOC communities who are interested in entering into cybersecurity and technology? What advice would you give them as to how they approach their possible careers?
Yes, my number one advice I use is find your tribe. And when I say find your tribe, it's really finding supportive networks and mentorship opportunities that fit you. And it doesn't necessarily mean that in your tribe, everyone will look exactly like yourself, but it's just really going to people and individuals who are there to support you, no matter what they look like, no matter what their background is. And then leveraging resources. We are in this big information age, and there's so many online courses and maybe community programs. But just to really go on the internet and start to do some research about things that you can either self-teach yourself. But most importantly, I like to say it's about that self-belief. I think it's really important for you to believe in your potential and continuously to advocate for yourself and others. So stay connected and look for programs like ours and look for resources online. But finding your tribe is really the key thing that I like to tell a lot of my young mentees or just anybody within my peer group.
And I think that's the finding your group is always, once you found them, you found them. And finding them isn't always easy, but it's important to go looking. And I think that's for our listeners that are listening right now. I do hope that we have a number of women and folks in the BIPOC community who are listening, who have careers right now in technology. What advice would we give to them as to where they could go? Because they might be sitting here listening and thinking, yeah, I wish I had someone like that in my career when I was starting out. And I wish I had something like that. Now that people like myself are in positions where we've got cybersecurity technology jobs and we're here doing it, where would you point us to go to sort of start making those first steps towards helping to support the next generation of folks coming into the industry?
If you're coming into the industry, I say starting to do that research. What does your career path or your career desires look like? And then going online to do the research to say, well, what are the tools? I always like to look for free tools. So tools can be in the form of online training. Tools can be in the form of digital community groups. I know that LinkedIn has different groups and associations that you can join and enter in for free, as well as some of the social media platforms like Facebook as well. So I think that those are the things that will really, really help for those who are interested in entering the cybersecurity field and may face some of the systemic barriers. But I just want to remind everyone just to be resilient and to continue to iterate and push forward. It does yield positive results.
Tying into that, it makes me think of, the reason why I'm asking is partially because I'm still sort of in that weird spot where I'm like, but am I really a woman in STEM? My daughter reminds me, no, yes, you are, Mom. So the old imposter syndrome. Do you find this to be common for women in STEM careers? And do you have any advice for trying to overcome that?
Yes. I do find this to be common for women in the STEM fields and also to women in the business or corporate world, especially if you're in leadership. One of the things that I like to tell some of the people within my peer group, not necessarily young girls in my program, but I also mentor young professionals, just to remind yourself that you are there because you belong there. You're not there because you do not belong there. You're not there to say, oh, I'm just a diversity hire. but you're there because you belong there. And it's okay for you to take up space. I also tell them to give yourself grace. There's no one in the company that knows everything. There's always someone that's there that has had help. And so just remind yourself to just humanize yourself and just remember that you are there because you belong there, and it is okay to take up space. I kind of keep that in the back of my mind, and I share that because no one is perfect. And it's okay to acknowledge that you have those feelings. But what I like to encourage people to do is like, what are you going to do about it? So now that I have this imposter syndrome feeling, what am I going to do about that? And just really start to write that down and start to take action on that, because you'll find out that other people that you think that have it all together, they don't have it all together. No one in the company, that's why I have to remind myself, knows everything. There's something that someone is there, even from the CEO, has to learn and depend on other people to provide them information or to help them with decision making. And so that really helps me along my journey, and just to humanize that experience.
Very much agree with that. It's impossible to know everything. And I think that's part of why you try to surround yourself with a great group of folks. On that note, when I'm thinking of that and celebrating the accomplishments of others, I'd be interested if you could share any success stories or any notable achievements of BIPOC women who have been supported by Self-eSTEM and who have gone on to pursue successful careers in cybersecurity or related fields.
Yes, I do have this one success story with this one innovator in our program. She joined our program our very first year. So she participated in our early STEM immersion program. We are in our 10th year, celebrating 10 years of impact. But with this young innovator, she did have interest in skills in the STEM fields. However, she really lacked what we call the 21st century skills of collaboration and some of the social skills. So with our organization, she was able to get the support and really build her collaboration skills and confidence to communicate effectively. And we did this through mentorship. We did this through putting her in project-based activities and in a team environment. So now today, she's currently a sophomore at UC Davis with a full scholarship, and she's double majoring in computer science and neuroscience. She is now an advocate for diversity in tech, and she has been inspiring other BIPOC girls to pursue careers in the STEM fields. So for our organization, it's always just great to have someone in which we can see their growth and development, and then see them come back full circle to also become an advocate, and then to reach back and lift as she climbs. That's something that we say that is very, very important within our organization. So for me, that's just one of our great and amazing stories, just to have that full circle moment.
That's amazing. The lift as you climb statement is very powerful. And I think that's something that should be celebrated.
Thank you.
In wrapping things up, where could folks go to learn more about you, Self-eSTEM, and the incredible work that you're doing?
Thank you. To learn more about Self-eSTEM in our program, people can go to our website at www.selfestem.org. That's SELFESTEM.org. And you can also follow us on our social media platforms for updates and upcoming events, including our 10th annual fundraiser, which is August 10th at Blocks Community Hub. So we are encouraging everyone to support our mission just by donating, volunteering, or simply spreading the word about our organization. I really do believe in the collective and the community, and believe that we can together can drive meaningful change and really empower girls and women to become leaders, not just for today, but also for tomorrow as well.
I appreciate that. And congratulations on 10 years. That is no small feat. 10 years is a heck of a milestone. So congratulations to you and your team.
Thank you.
So with that, I think we can, and I can't quite believe I'm saying this, but play Security Blank for the final time.
Until that listener survey comes out, and the listeners are like, we love it, bring it back.
I'm not ready to say goodbye to this game yet, but I think you two might be.
Yeah, I think I'm good. I'm good for us to move on.
It's really a gift at this point. It just keeps on giving.
But shall we play the jingle one last time?
Let's do it.
That's what I can't get enough of, the jingle.
So by now, you're probably all up to speed with Security Blank and how this game works, but just in case we have any new listeners, I'll quickly explain the rules. So I'm about to read out some recent cybersecurity news headlines with one or multiple words blanked out, and Sarah and Rue will have to guess which words are missing from the headline. So we give multiple choice answers to make things a little easier or to confuse Sarah and Rue a little bit more. So this week, our first security blank headline is from the BBC in May 2024. People are not worried about blank blank. Is it A, people are not worried about if their data is encrypted or not? Are they not worried about using password 123 everywhere? Are they not worried about AI-generated content, malware in their downloads, or E, finally, being scammed?
I don't know. I don't like this.
I don't like this either.
I don't think that anyone cares about password 123. People wouldn't even think about that. I don't think malware is a thing that people think about. So is the article about, did they survey people about, do you think about encryption or do you think about, like, I don't think anyone thinks about malware. Nobody wants to be scammed, so it's not that one. It can't be that one.
And the article's in quotation marks, we should just say. People are not worried about. So someone's been quoted on it and it's the headline.
I got to go with A, if their data is encrypted or not.
That was my gut, but then knowing that this is coming from...
Oh, then I said it and ruined it for you.
From the... No, you did not. No. That was my gut. And then seeing that this is like a BBC headline that is supposed to appeal to everyone, I think that it's being scammed. I'm going with E. People are just not worried about being scammed.
Okay, so one of you is correct.
Oh, it's Rue.
And it is Rue.
Yeah.
What do you mean? People are not worried about being scammed?
They're just not worried about it. Who would scam me? Why would I be scammed? It's an evolution of the, like, who would hack me? Like, who cares if I'm using the same password everywhere? Who would even bother hacking
Maybe
me?
they'd hack me and pay my Visa bill, I guess.
That one. Oh, that's always a gem.
Yeah, that's always my favorite.
Man.
They could steal my stuff, but then they can pay the bills too. Yeah.
Okay, next up we have an article from The Verge in June 2024. From ChatGPT to Gemini, how AI is blank, blank, blank. Is it how AI is rewriting the internet? Is it helping security leaders? Is it accelerating misinformation? Is it transforming our habits? Or finally, altering human behavior? How AI is.
I want F, all of the above.
Yes. From ChatGPT to Gemini, how AI is.
I mean, it's either rewriting the internet or it's altering human behavior. And given that this is coming from The Verge, I'm going to say A. How AI is rewriting the internet.
That's where I was at. It was between A and E and altering human behavior, and I feel like I shouldn't say the same as you, but I'm going to stick with rewriting the internet, and then when we're both wrong, I'll know better for next time. But
at least you haven't gone down in points.
It's the similar thing you did with the BBC earlier. Like, I think The Verge is the hint here, so I think we got to go with rewriting the internet.
I like how you've waited till the final time we play this game to get good at it. Because it is A, rewriting the internet.
Yeah,
well
there
done.
we go.
You both get a point.
Perfect.
You know, you're looking into the source and everything.
Googling the articles. Yeah.
Googling the articles.
Oh, wait, no, sorry, not that part.
Nice.
No, I'm not.
Okay, next up we have an article from Wired in June of this year. The age of the blank blank is here. Is it A, the age of deepfake Zoom scams is here? Is it B, AI co-workers are here? Is it C, drone police is here? Is it D, passwordless shift is here? Or E, ransomware blackout is here? What are we in the age of?
I gotta hope for the AI coworker. After watching the Apple keynote and the new Apple Math calculator that finally came to the iPad tablet, and watching the 98 plus 38 equals, and then the iPad just writes the answer. Like, I've been struggling with grade 10 math all year. For mine and Jack's sake, I'm hoping the AI coworker is here.
Oh my Okay.
That's where I'm going as well. It's look, we got to put AI in our headlines somehow. We got to hit that AI quota, and therefore the age of the AI coworker is here.
Unfortunately, you are both wrong. It is C, the drone police.
What?
The age of the drone police is here.
Is this about policing drones, or is this about police using drones?
I'm Googling it. We're going to find out what this is about. A Wired investigation based on more than 22 million flight coordinates reveals the complicated truth about the first full-blown police drone program in the U.S. and why your city could be next.
That's terrifying.
I'm scaring you with this game.
Yuck.
Yeah, it's police using drones.
No.
Yeah. Get them.
Okay, let's
go.
move on quickly. So, change of pace here. We've got an article from TechCrunch in May of this year. Rock band's blank 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 gets hacked. Is it the rock band's groupie fan page gets hacked? Is it the self-driving tour bus gets hacked? An upcoming album and tour schedule? Is it D, music streaming platform gets hacked? Or E, the hidden hacking themed website gets hacked? Wow, that's a mouthful.
Oh,
Jeez.
I feel like the hidden hacking themed website might be the thing, because it's not like it just says rock bands. Like if it's said, Taylor Swift's blank
Yeah.
Nobody has their own music streaming platform. Nobody can afford a self-driving tour bus. A groupie fan page getting hacked doesn't seem like that seems like, unfortunately, sorry to say, it seems like something that happens fairly regularly.
Not headline news.
An upcoming album and tour schedule,
Yeah, it's so Sarah, I'm with you on this one. Strangely enough, like you and I are just lockstep for the most part here. I think that this is that's a good headline. A rock band's hidden hacking themed website gets hacked. Like, yeah, I think it's that.
Yeah. And it's going to be like some sort of like tech destroyers, like the rock band's name. You've got to have the rock band's name, Anna.
I do have the rock band's name.
I'm going to go with E. Yeah. Hidden hacking themed website.
Okay, you are both correct.
Yes.
It is Bring Me the Horizon. They had a hidden hacking themed website, and it got hacked.
I saw them.
Did you really?
Oh,
I don't even know
nice.
who that is.
Yeah, they were at Sick New World.
Wow.
Hey, Sarah, you're down with the kids.
I know.
I am so hip right now.
You are.
Yo.
God. Sometimes I forget
I love
that
it.
you're also very cool, and it's just great to be reminded.
God, I just gained a year's life point on that one. Oh, yay me.
You've lost 5 years of your life, Sarah. Okay, so next up, we have an article from, where are we? The Independent of June 2024. Blank, blank, blank is the crisis we're all ignoring. Trust me, I worked for Twitter. Is it A, bot trolling is the crisis we're all ignoring? Is it fake news on social media? Is that the crisis we're all ignoring? Public password sharing? D, social media scraping? Or E, main character syndrome is the crisis we're all ignoring? Trust me, I worked for Twitter.
It's fake news on social media. Fake news on social media is the crisis we're all ignoring.
I'm going to go with social media scraping. That's what I'm going to go with. I don't like any of these. Trust me, I worked for Twitter. It hasn't been only people still calling it Twitter. For all the cool points I got on the previous question, I still call it Twitter. I lost all the cool points.
No. Twitter is so much better than X. It just is.
Unless it's public password sharing and all of the people that work at Twitter are all using the same password.
I can confirm that one of you is correct.
Oh.
And it is Rue.
Oh, there we go.
Fake news on social media is the crisis we're all ignoring. You got to trust him, though, because he works for Twitter. Okay, so finally, Rue, what are you on? I can't see the scores. Oh, 4-2 at the moment.
He's ahead by a lot.
Oh, wow.
As usual. I got some points, so I'm happy.
Sarah, you can't pull it back, unfortunately.
I got 2 points. That's a lot. That's a win.
That is a win. Okay, finally, we have The Verge from June this year. The future of blank blank. Robots, apps, and AI. Oh my. Is it A, the smart kitchen, the future of the smart kitchen? B, Silicon Valley? C, our food supply? D, working from home, or E, just getting by?
This is totally an appliance advertisement for a fridge that talks to you and talks to a grocery list.
Yep.
This is totally the smart kitchen, and
is.
it's a complete advertising article. That's all there is to it.
But so here's the
Gotta
thing.
be.
I'm gonna pick
Confidence.
something else just in case, just to like so that we can close the gap a little, Sarah, in case.
Oh,
right.
you're letting me. You're taking the fall because you know you can win no matter what.
You're taking pity.
You're letting me have the empty netter. I appreciate it.
Let's make it interesting at the end.
For those of us watching the Stanley Cup,
I'm gonna say C, our food supply.
It's a rhyming one, Rue. The future of our food supply. Robots, apps, and AI, oh my.
Robots, apps, and AI. Yeah, see? Here we go. I'm going with our food supply.
Okay, so one of you is correct.
it better not be Rue because it rhymes. If it wins because it rhymes, I'm out.
And I can confirm that Sarah is correct on this one.
Oh, phew.
Hey.
God, I was like,
I was worried.
I was like, please, I actually kind of want that to be the answer now. Oh my gosh.
I mean, I wanted it to be the future of just getting by. Robots, apps, and AI. Oh my.
Too funny.
Nice.
Okay, well, there we go. That was the final round of Security Blank.
That was wonderful. What a way to end.
Yay.
Have you just been, like, faking being bad at this game the whole time?
Oh, no.
No.
Oh, no. I am legitimately bad at this game.
Nice. Well, this was fun. Matt, if you're listening, we miss you. But I think that we held it together, the three of us, pretty well today.
We'll see what the listener feedback says anyway.
We'll see.
Yeah.
No more time off for Matt.
Gosh. All right. Well, this was fun. Love you both.
Love you both.
Love you both.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.